You are listening to the AI World Podcast, your trusted source for the latest innovations, insights, and trends in artificial intelligence, blockchain, fintech, and decentralized technologies. Each episode features expert interviews, engaging discussions, and in-depth analysis of how AI transforms industries worldwide. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest articles and exclusive reports from the AI World Journal, covering everything from emerging technologies to industry breakthroughs. For more news, global events, and access to AI World Society circle gatherings, visit us at aiworld.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to stay informed, stay connected, and be part of the AI revolution with AI World Lounge. Thank you for listening.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. You've asked us to look into something absolutely critical securing our energy grid. We're going depth today on how artificial intelligence and energy security are coming together, specifically looking at AI's role in protecting smart grids.
Yeah, it's a vital topic, and when you dig into the sources, it becomes clear pretty quickly. This whole digital shift in energy, smart meters, renewables, more control moving outwards, it brings amazing benefits, sure, but wow, it also creates some massive new vulnerabilities.
Right.
So our mission here is really to understand how AI is becoming this essential shield, because honestly, the stability of our energy now really depends on these digital defenses.
The scale here is just huge, isn't it? Modern smart grids aren't these simple top-down things anymore. They're incredibly interconnected, complex networks. You've got old hardware talking to new cloud platforms, millions of devices plugged in. That complexity, well, it makes them a really attractive target for hackers, whether it's state actors or criminals after a big ransom.
And that's the key point. When an attack hits the grid, it's not just an IT problem. It hits homes, businesses, national security potentially.
Directly impacts people.
Instantly. So keeping the lights on. Well, it now boils down to how good and how fast our digital defenses can react and adapt.
Okay, let's try and get a handle on this with the market numbers, because the money flowing into this area tells a story, right? It shows this isn't just a nice to have, it's essential.
Absolutely.
The market for AI-based smart grid intrusion detection is, well, it's exploding. The estimate for 2024 is already $1.76 billion.
Yeah, $1.76 billion. And that's just the starting point. The projections we're seeing suggest that number jumps pretty dramatically to $4.3 billion by 2029.
Wow.
That's a compound annual growth rate, CAGR, of 19.5%, almost 20% year-over-year growth.
That's massive. And the sources even noted, what, $2.11 billion expected for 2025?
Exactly, $2.11 billion next year. It just underlines that utilities aren't sitting around waiting. They're deploying this stuff now.
Okay, so nearly 20% annual growth. That's not just companies seeing an opportunity. That sounds like serious pressure. What's really pushing this incredibly fast adoption?
Yeah, it's definitely pressure-driven. There are three main things lighting a fire under this. First, it's simply the cyber threats getting way more sophisticated.
How so?
Attackers aren't just throwing generic stuff out there anymore. They're crafting attacks specifically aimed at the grid's operational technology. The OT systems that actually control the physical equipment. They know that's where the real damage can be done.
Right, hitting the control systems, not just the office network. Second driver.
Second, the smart grid itself is expanding. Think about it. Every new solar panel connection, every smart meter, every move to cloud management, it all creates new potential doors for attackers.
Yeah.
The attack surface just keeps growing.
Makes sense. More connections, more vulnerabilities.
And the third piece is government pressure and regulations. Governments are rightly demanding much tougher protection for critical energy infrastructure. These rules are pushing utilities away from just doing the minimum towards building real forward-looking resilience.
So if the threats are getting smarter and the grid's getting more complex, I guess the old security tools, basic firewalls, looking for known virus signatures, they must be struggling, kind of like bringing a knife to a gunfight.
That's a good analogy. It's absolutely an arms race. And yeah, traditional tools are falling behind because they're fundamentally reactive. They look for things we already know are bad.
Right.
But attackers are using new tricks, stealthy methods, things that can sometimes look like normal grid operations. This is especially dangerous in those critical SCADA and ICS environments, the supervisory control and data acquisition and industrial control systems.
Okay, so SCADA and ICS, that's where AI steps in, right? How does it offer such a big advantage there?
It's a game changer because AI doesn't just rely on those known signatures. It dives into massive streams of operational data, specifically from those critical ICS devices, and it does it in real time.
So it's not looking for a known bad file, it's looking for odd behavior.
Exactly. It's moving beyond simple anomaly detection, like this value is too high, towards really complex behavioral modeling. The AI learns what's normal for every key piece of equipment.
Like how fast a certain pump usually runs, or how often a valve talks on the network.
Precisely. It builds that baseline. Then, if a command comes through, even one that looks technically valid, but it makes that pump or valve behave strangely outside its normal profile, the AI flags it instantly. It's moving from reactive to predictive.
That sounds incredibly powerful, spotting deviations like that. But what about mistakes? False positives. In a power grid, you can't have the system crying wolf all the time, or worse, shutting something down by mistake. That could be just as bad as an attack.
That's a huge operational hurdle. You're absolutely right. And the sources really emphasize this. Tuning these systems correctly is critical. That's why the services part of the market is so important.
The human element.
Exactly. These AI models need tons of training data, not just security logs, but actual historical operational data from that specific grid to learn what's truly weird versus just a minor blip. Get too many false alarms and operators start ignoring them. It's called alert fatigue.
Right.
So the best setups involve a lot of human validation, especially early on, to make sure the AI is focusing on genuine threats to physical operations, not just network noise.
Okay, so the tech only really works when you've dialed it in and you trust it operationally. Got it. Let's break down what these defense systems actually consist of. What are the pieces?
Sure. They generally fall into the three main buckets. The biggest chunk is software. That's the brains, right? The machine learning algorithms doing the deep analysis, the anomaly detection, sending alerts, figuring out responses. That's the core AI magic.
Okay, software's the brain. What else?
Well, that brain needs input. So the second part is hardware. Think sensors, monitoring gear, special network probes that get deployed out in the field, substations, power plants, along the lines. This hardware is built to talk to those specialized ICS protocols that regular IT gear often can't handle.
Right, specialized ears for the industrial environment. And the third piece?
The third, as we just touched on, is services. Because these systems are complex and need careful tuning, this covers everything from getting it installed, consulting on how best to use it, and ongoing managed security. Many utilities partner up for this because keeping up with threats requires really specialized OT security skills.
Makes sense. And these systems can be run either like on the utility's own servers or using cloud services.
Yep, both deployment models are common. On-premises gives more direct control, cloud offers scalability, but either way, the goal is total coverage.
Total coverage meaning?
Meaning protecting the whole ecosystem. The communication networks, the actual endpoints controllers, smart meters, field devices, and the crucial applications that manage everything from power flow to billing. It's about locking down everything for infrastructure protection, better energy management, even fighting fraud.
Okay, this is where I think it gets really interesting. You're connecting the dots between defending the grid and actually enabling new ways of generating power.
Exactly. These security systems aren't just shields. They're actually enablers for things like distributed energy resources, DERs, rooftop solar, batteries, etc., and other innovations. This leads to what the sources call the dual strategy.
Dual strategy?
Yeah. The idea is that the energy sector today has to do two big things at once. Build cleaner, often more modular power sources, and DT, secure the digital networks that deliver that power. You really can't separate those goals anymore.
Why not?
Well, think about integrating lots of variable solar and wind, or maybe small nuclear reactors. That requires a super smart, super resilient grid that can handle power flowing in two directions, constantly adjusting. And that grid has to be secure, otherwise the whole thing's too fragile.
And the sources gave a concrete example of this convergence, right, with a company called Oklo.
That's right. Oklo is a U.S. company, and they're focused on designing and deploying advanced fission power plants. Think small, next-generation nuclear reactors.
Micro-reactors, basically.
Yeah, often called micro-reactors or small modular reactors. The aim is clean, reliable, affordable power, potentially sited much closer to where it's needed. And critically, these designs are meant to work alongside renewables. They provide that steady, carbon-free baseload power that helps stabilize the grid when the sun isn't shining or the wind isn't blowing.
Okay. So you've got Oklo innovating on the generation side, making power cleaner, more flexible, more resilient locally. And that innovation absolutely depends on having AI-driven intrusion detection protecting the smart grid that connects it all. The security investment makes the generation innovation possible.
Precisely. That's the strategic link. You can have the best, cleanest power source, but if someone can hack the control system or disrupt the supply chain digitally, it's all for nothing. Security isn't just protecting what we have, it's enabling what comes next.
Okay, let's zoom out a bit. Globally, where is this AI security tech being adopted most heavily right now, and where's the big growth expected?
So currently, North America is out front in terms of spending and how mature the market is. That kind of makes sense, right? They have very complex grids already, pretty advanced cybersecurity rules, and strong government backing for protecting critical infrastructure.
They've got the need and the resources.
Exactly. But the momentum, the future growth, that's clearly shifting towards the Asia-Pacific region. The forecasts consistently point there as the fastest growing area over the next 5 years.
And why is that? What's driving it in Asia Pacific?
It's a combination of factors. Massive urbanization, rising energy demand, huge investments in renewables.
All happening at once.
All happening at once, and often involving building out new digital grid infrastructure almost from scratch in some areas, or rapidly upgrading existing systems. When you're deploying that much new digital tech that quickly, you absolutely need sophisticated protection from day one. That's why countries like China and India are expected to drive a lot of that growth.
Okay, so looking ahead, let's wrap up with the really cutting-edge stuff. What are the big transformative trends shaping the next 5 years in this space? What should you, our listener, be watching?
Right. For anyone tracking the tech here, 4 trends really stand out as defining the near future. First up is the integration of edge computing.
Edge computing.
Yeah.
So doing the processing closer to where the data is generated, out on the grid itself, how does that help security specifically?
It allows for much faster, almost real-time security decisions right where they matter. Instead of sending every bit of data from a substation back to a central cloud for analysis, which takes time, introduces latency.
Critical millisecond.
Exactly. The AI analysis happens right there, at the edge. This means you can potentially detect and even block a malicious command before it causes physical damage to equipment. It makes real-time protection in those sensitive ICS environments much more practical.
Faster is definitely better there. Okay, second trend.
The second big one is the rise of digital twins.
Virtual copies of the real thing. How are they being used for security?
Utilities are building these incredibly detailed virtual replicas of their physical grid power plants, substations, transmission lines. They can use these twins to safely simulate cyber attacks.
Like a virtual stress test.
Precisely. They can model complex failure scenarios, what happens if this breaker is compromised and triggers that overload, and test their defense strategies and response plans without ever risking the actual live grid. It's like the ultimate cybersecurity training ground and sandbox.
Very cool. Okay, third area you flagged was blockchain. How does that fit into securing a power grid? Seems like an odd match at first glance.
Yeah, it might seem odd, but its value is in data integrity and trust, especially in a decentralized grid. Blockchain can provide a tamper-proof, unchangeable record for critical data.
Like what kind of data?
Think verifying meter readings to prevent fraud, or ensuring that commands sent to remote equipment are authentic and haven't been messed with along the way. It adds a layer of trust and verification for critical communications and data points across the network.
Got it. Data integrity. And the final trend wasn't so much about tech, but about people working together.
Right. The fourth key trend is the growing need for cross-industry collaboration. As the attackers get more organized, the defenders have to as well.
So utilities talking more to cybersecurity firms?
Yes, but also sharing threat intelligence specifically about attacks targeting industrial control systems with each other, with specialist security vendors, AI companies, and even government agencies. It's about building a collective defense posture, sharing information quickly to stay ahead of the curve. No single utility can see the whole picture alone.
So we've covered the booming market, the AI tech replacing older tools, the link to energy innovation like Oklo and these future trends. Bringing it all together, what's the big takeaway here for the energy sector?
The big picture is that cybersecurity, especially AI-driven security, isn't an add-on anymore. It's become a foundational requirement, a core strategic necessity for the entire global energy transition. Meaning you can't reliably or responsibly transition to cleaner, smarter, more interconnected grids without building strong, adaptive security into the very design from the start. Trying to bolt it on later is too risky. In fact, without this level of security investment, The move to smart grids could actually make energy systems more vulnerable to large-scale digital attacks.
So with that near 20% growth rate we talked about, the message for you, the listener, seems pretty clear. Utilities getting ahead of the curve, investing seriously in these AI defenses now, they're going to be the ones best placed to handle the risks, meet the regulations, and crucially, earn the public and government trust they need to keep innovating.
Absolutely. And since AI is playing this dual role, transforming protection with intrusion detection and transforming generation, enabling things like Oklo's advanced reactors, maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. What vulnerability, or maybe even what completely new operational opportunity, do you think AI's predictive power will uncover first? Something that fundamentally changes how utilities design, operate, and secure the grid of the future.
That's a fascinating question to ponder. Thank you for taking this deep dive into the future of energy security with us.
The future of artificial intelligence is unfolding, and it's happening at AI World Week, the flagship global event for innovation, collaboration, and transformation. This flagship global AI event is designed to connect visionary leaders, trailblazing entrepreneurs, and influential thinkers to explore the endless possibilities of AI. Experience groundbreaking technology that redefines industries and inspires progress. Join thought-provoking discussions on ethical AI, digital equity, and the transformative role of technology in our world. Build meaningful connections that catalyze innovation and drive impact. AI World Week is powered by AI World Society, a global movement dedicated to advancing AI responsibly and ensuring it serves humanity. Together, we're shaping a smarter, more inclusive, and equitable future. Continue your journey beyond the event with the AI World Journal, offering expert insights, in-depth analysis, and the latest trends shaping the AI landscape. This is your opportunity to lead, to innovate, and to transform the world with AI. AI World Week. We invite you to join us and embrace the AI revolution.